Hello everyone, this is Dr. Suman from AJ Institute of Engineering and Technology from the Department of Civil Engineering. Today I introduce you to the topic of projectiles. Projectile motion comes in the module 5 of Elements of Civil Engineering and Mechanics. Last video lecture I have discussed regarding the kinematics, introduction to kinematics, various concepts, laws of motion, equations of motions we derived. We also saw the rectilinear motion of the particle. We worked out several problems in the video, and in this video lecture I will proceed with the projectile motion. So in our lifetime we would have definitely drawn so many imaginary lines in the air, that is, we would have projected many objects in air in order to hit the target. It could be in a basketball court or a football court, or simply throwing stones into the pond and reaching the target properly by just adjusting the velocity with which we threw the object, or by adjusting the angles with which we threw the object. So somehow we have used our common sense to reach the target. So finding out that right velocity, finding out that right angle to hit the target is what we are doing by calculating the projectiles in the engineering mechanics subject. So you can see here there are many stones falling from a cliff. Okay, each stone attains a trajectory. Trajectory is basically the path attained by each stone. So this is the path. This is the projectile which is projected with some velocity and some angle with respect to the horizontal. So each particle which is thrown into the air has its own velocity and angle, because of which it may fall either close by, it may fall very near, or it may fall far away from where it is projected. But anything which is pushed up in air has to attain some maximum height, and it has to fall to the ground. Depends, the time of flow in the air depends upon with different conditions. On what condition it is thrown into the air, it depends. So if I can go on giving different examples for different projectiles, that is, a baseball that has been pitched, bullet which is fired from the gun, stone which is thrown into the pond, likewise. So each one has its own flow in the air and coming back to the ground. Why does every object come back to the ground? Basics, that is the gravitational pull. So when an object is projected from here, object is projected from the origin, you take this as origin point, with some velocity you have thrown it in air. What happens to the velocity? That is, if it is making an angle with respect to the horizontal, that means it can be derived into two components. One is the vertical component and the horizontal component. With some particular initial velocity and some particular angle made with the horizontal component remains constant, whereas the velocity or the speed of this particular object in this direction, it goes on decreasing, and when it reaches zero velocity here, why? Because this is going against gravity. It is going upwards, means anytime any object is going upwards means it is against gravity. So that is why it goes on decreasing, and at some point it reaches zero. Afterwards it moves towards the earth, that is in the direction of the gravity, correct? So it reaches the ground at some point. So gravity has a influence on anything which is thrown in air. Okay, so how do I define this projectile? you know now what is a projectile motion and how the trajectory is obtained. How do we give a definition for this projectile? Projectile is defined as any body thrown with some initial velocity which is then allowed to fall under the action of gravity alone without being propelled by any engine or fuel. That is, only the initial velocity is given. Later, no engine or fuel is acting on that. The path followed by a projectile is called as the trajectory, as in the figure. Now, this particular object from origin here, this particle is projected upwards from point O at an angle, certain angle alpha. Yeah, what you need to keep in mind is this angle is very important. Like with a given velocity, if you are throwing an object here, for different angle the projection will be different. Okay, and also remember, if in case the velocity was higher, then this would have been steeper, the curve would have been steeper. Since the velocity is lesser, as the velocity is lesser, it becomes more broader. Okay, in case you had hit the object right perpendicularly, then it falls in the similar fashion, perpendicular, very near perpendicular it will fall down. Okay, so it is moving with the initial velocity u meter per second with the angle alpha. So its x component is u cos alpha, making an angle with the x. So u cos alpha, u is this. Along y direction it is u sin alpha. Okay, so now this velocity, vertical velocity is vertical velocity, it keeps changing at different points. Here, as it goes until it reaches the maximum height, the velocity, vertical speed goes on decreasing because the acceleration is in opposite direction, whereas the vertical speed increases after reaching the maximum height because it is in the same direction as that of the acceleration, that is a g. Okay, whereas this horizontal component is constant, u cos alpha is constant. Okay, so please remember that while solving the problems. Next, coming to the equation for the path of projectile or the trajectory equation. Let a particle is projected at a certain angle from point O. Where is the point O? This is the point O. So let the trajectory be OPA, with P being the point where the maximum height is attained and O where the target is reached. So this is the projectile start point and this is the projectile target point. Okay. So after t seconds, let the particle reach point P, where this is the considered as the x coordinate, this is the y coordinate. You name it as h max or s, anything. However, it is the distance, maximum distance covered, or where the point, the velocity becomes equal to 0. So u is given as the velocity of projection, alpha is the angle of the projection. We know that horizontal component of the velocity of projection is u cos alpha and vertical is u sin alpha. Okay, vertical component is u sin alpha. Now, I want to know what is this x and y. Which is x and y? I told this is x and this is y. So, this horizontal component or this point to this point, OA is called as the R or it is called as the range. Okay, it is the basically the distance. So now let me find out what is the distance from this point to this. Say I have named it as x. What is distance actually? We know velocity is equal to distance divided by time. So distance is equal to velocity into time. What is the velocity in the x component? We found out it is u cos alpha. velocity in the x component is u cos alpha into time t. So you will get the x value. Next, find out the y value. Y value is, y max is this. So any y value along with this, along this trajectory is influenced by the acceleration, gravity of acceleration due to gravity. So the y component is given by the equation y is equal to ut minus half gt square. Okay, ut minus half gt square, where u is nothing but the velocity component in the y direction, which is u sine alpha into t minus, why minus here? Because in the first half the object is moving up. So when object is moving up, acceleration is taken as minus 9.81, right, minus g. So in your equation of motion also it will be minus g half g t square. Okay. So now from the equation of x is equal to u cos alpha t, from this equation you can derive what, you can know what is t, time t is equal to x divided by cos alpha. Substituting this equation in your y equation, second equation, where t is there, substitute the value of x divided by u cos alpha, and further simplifying, u sin alpha into x by u cos alpha, there is this one, minus half gt square, same thing, square. So it will be, u gets cancelled here, sin alpha by cos alpha becomes tan alpha, so x tan alpha minus half is remaining here, g by 2, this becomes x square, u square, cos squared alpha. So at any point y can be calculated using the angle alpha. Next, the important terms. Yeah, one thing before I move on, it is found that we will prove it later, it is found that when we throw an object in air for an angle of 45 degree, the maximum maximum range is obtained. Okay. So next, the terms used in the projectile, that is the velocity of projection is u. It is a velocity with which the projectile is projected in the upward direction with some inclination with the horizontal. Okay, it's nothing but this u. Angle of projection is the angle which the projectile is projected with respect to the horizontal. Initially what angle is produced, no? That is the angle of projection. Time of flight. Time of flight is denoted by capital T. It is the total time required for the projectile to travel from point of projection to the point of target. Okay. Next one is horizontal range. Horizontal range R is the horizontal distance between the point of projection and the target. That is, it is the distance, horizontal distance from point O to point A. That is nothing but the horizontal range or the horizontal distance. That is R. Next one is the vertical height. Vertical height H is the vertical distance or height reached by the projectile from the point of projection. So basically this y, or it is known as H max, it is the height. Okay. Next one is the time of flight, what we just saw the definition, for which we need to arrive at a formula. So what is the total time of flight? We know that the vertical ordinate at any point on the path of the projectile after time t is given by y is equal to the formula which we derived that time, u sine alpha into t minus half gt square. When the projectile hits the ground, that is when we are bothered about the time, that's the total time required for the flight. When you reach the target point, what is the y distance here? Y distance becomes equal to 0. So when the projectile hits the ground, say B, when y is equal to 0 and t has attained the capital T. So these are the small t's which are throughout the flight. This is the total t for the entire flight. Substituting these values in this equation, finally we arrive at the value of t, that is u is equal to 0, u sine alpha t minus half gt square. So t cancels here, from here t and this t gets cancelled. So substitute the capital T here, take it to the other side. So it becomes 2u sine alpha divided by g. For a given problem, if the time of flight has to be calculated, then you can substitute t is equal to 2u sine alpha by g, where g is 9.81. You know the initial velocity with which you project the object. Alpha is the angle made by that projectile. Okay. Next one is the maximum height attained by the projectile, that is h max, which I was talking about, or y max, whatever, center portion. When the projectile reaches its maximum height, the vertical component of velocity of projection becomes 0. Okay, so what happens to the velocity when maximum height is attained? Here v velocity becomes equal to 0. What is the initial velocity of this? It is u. So if you take the equation of motion, v squared minus third equation of motion, v squared minus u squared is equal to 2as. Here when the final velocity, when it reaches the maximum height, v final velocity becomes 0. Initial velocity is u, but here we are talking about the vertical component of velocity. Okay, vertical component of velocity is along the y-axis. Okay, that is along y-axis we found it was u sine alpha. So vertical component u sine alpha was the initial velocity. So substituting let's skip this. Okay, here we were. So u is nothing but u sine alpha. It becomes u squared sine squared alpha is equal to 2g h max. H max is the distance at the center of the curve. G is negative because it was the vertical upward movement. In the first half it is minus g, correct? It's minus g. So h max is equal to minus sign gets knocked off, u squared sine squared alpha divided by 2g. So h max is the maximum height attained by the projectile. Time required to reach the maximum height is given by v is equal to first equation of motion, v is equal to u plus at. Therefore final velocity 0, initial velocity u sine alpha minus gt, upward motion. No? So t is equal to u sine alpha divided by g will get. Okay. So this is how we find out the height and its respective time, that is in the figure up to reach up to this point, what is the time taken? You can represent it as small t and substitute that in that equation the known values and get what is the time required for the to reach up to the maximum height. Okay. Next one is the horizontal range of projectile. What is the horizontal range of projectile? Horizontal range of the projectile is this entire distance from the point of projection up to the point of target is the horizontal range r. During the time of flight, the horizontal component of velocity of projectile is u cos alpha. Okay, horizontal distance of projectile is r. It is represented as r, which is equal to horizontal component of velocity of projection, that is u cos alpha, into the time of flight, that is velocity into again time, will give you the distance. So distance is equal to velocity in the horizontal direction into time. So it is u cos alpha into time. But r is equal to u cos alpha into what we know, that time, that is for the entire flight we have already found out that it is 2u sin alpha by g. So now we can get this as u squared into 2 cos alpha sin alpha, or sin alpha cos alpha. But what is 2 sin alpha cos alpha? Our definition wise, or our formula, we know that 2 sin alpha cos alpha is nothing but sin 2 alpha. So substitute there sin 2 alpha into u square divided by g. Okay, like I mentioned in the previous slide, that r, that is a maximum horizontal distance. When you can obtain, we can obtain the maximum horizontal distance by either reducing this or increasing this angle. But how can you increase? You cannot increase or decrease this value. It is the fixed value 9.81. However, you can go on increasing this angle alpha. You can play with this angle alpha, right? Let's see if this becomes, if this entire term becomes 1, then you will get the maximum r value, correct? So what I will do is sin 2 alpha, if it has to be equal to 1, what I am supposed to do? What is sin 90? Sin 90 is 1, cos 90 is 0, correct? So sin 90, instead of 1, I will write sin 90. Okay. So this is nothing but 2 alpha is equal to 90. Sin 2 alpha, sin gets cancelled here. 2 alpha is equal to 90. 9 alpha is equal to 45 degree. So at 45 degree, if I substitute over here, I can get this term as 1, and this becomes u squared by g. Okay. So at the angle of 45 degree, when you are throwing the any object, if this angle is 45 degree, then a maximum range r can be obtained. That is what it means. Okay, this we looked into first. Later on we went to the r. Now using these formulas, let us solve 1 or 2 problems in this video. A particle projected at an angle of 60 degree with the horizontal. The horizontal range of the particle is 5 km. So alpha is 60 degree. Horizontal range is 5 km, which is written as 5000 meter here. Find the velocity of projection. Maximum height attained by the particle. Maximum height attained by the particle is h max. Formula direct. Here they asked velocity of projection. That is the initial velocity. That is u. They have given you r in kilometer. Write on 5000 meters. G, you know, 9.81 meter per second square. This is alpha is 60 degree. Substitute the values in the horizontal range equation. R is equal to u squared sin 2 alpha divided by g. Substitute the values, known values, and find out the u. U is the unknown here. R is already known. U, you will get it as 237.98 meter per second. Next is maximum height attained by the particle. H max is equal to u squared sin alpha divided by 2g. Alpha is 60 degree given. U, you have found out. Substitute and get the H max. Maximum height attained by the particle where the velocity is 0. Second problem. A particle projected in the air with a velocity of 100 meter per second at an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal. Particle is projected in air, u is given 100 meter per second, alpha is given 30 degree, g is 9.81 you know. Find the horizontal range r, which is equal to u squared sine 2 alpha by g. You know alpha, you know u, find out r, 882.79 meter. And find out maximum height attained and the time of flight. Maximum height attained, you know the formula, h max is equal to u squared sine alpha by 2g. U you know, alpha you know. Alpha you know, substitute, get the h max. Time of flight. Time of flight equation is, time of flight here it is for the entire flight. So it is 2u sine alpha divided by g, which is equal to 2 into 100 sine 30 divided by 9.81, which is equal to 10.19 seconds. Third problem. The body is projected at such an angle that the horizontal range is 3 times the greatest height. Calculate the angle of projection. So what is given in the problem? No angle, nothing. Only one condition is given. The body is projected such that horizontal range r is 3 times the greatest height, 3 times h max. So you do not know any other thing, but you know the equations for horizontal range as well as h max. The standard equation, that is u squared sine alpha by g. H max is u squared sine squared alpha by 2g. Substitute in this. Okay. U squared gets cancelled. It's the initial velocity in both the cases. Correct? So gets cancelled. Only alpha is the unknown here. But please note, here it is sine 2 alpha and here it is sine squared alpha. So sine 2 alpha, you already know the formula. It is 2 sine alpha cos alpha. Substitute in this equation. When I put 2 sine alpha cos alpha, 1 sine alpha and 1 sine alpha gets cancelled. And what remains with me is u squared 2, okay, this gets cancelled, right? U squared gets cancelled. So what remains is cos alpha on this side divided by g, and this side 1 sine alpha, which you can easily write as 3 by 2 tan alpha, which is equal to 2. 2 from this equation. G gets cancelled. 2 from this equation. G gets cancelled, right? So this side it is 3 by 2. Here it is 2. Alpha is equal to 53.8 degree. Okay. So that is what is asked, angle of projection. So with the given condition, we have, without giving any other value, we have arrived at the angle alpha. Okay. So you need to remember these equations which we derived. Next problem. A projectile is aimed at a mark on a horizontal plane. A projectile is aimed at a mark on the horizontal plane through the point of projection, and falls short when the angle of projection is 15 degree. Falls short of 12 meter. Falling short means not reaching the target, falling short by 12 meter. While it overshoots by a mark of 24 meter when the angle of projection is 45 degrees. So when it is 15-degree angle, it fell here. When it is 45-degree angle, it fell here. So we have 3 alphas over here. Find the angle of projection to hit the mark. So what is the correct angle we have to find out? Which angle will allow you to hit the mark? Assume no air resistance. These are the assumptions made in the problem. Like when you project something, the air or resistance will be there, right? There is some friction in the air. That is considered as not present. However, even if they don't give, we are not going to calculate any air resistance. Take the velocity of projection constant in all the cases. That means u is taken constant in all the cases. So let us consider two distances. One is the right mark distance r, other one is r1 which fell short, another one is which has overshooted r2. So 3 r horizontal r's we have. So r1 is what? R1 is total r minus 12, r2 is total r plus 24. So you got two equations, correct? What is our main equation for the horizontal range? R is equal to u squared sine 2 alpha by g is our horizontal range equation. Substitute R1 alpha 1. For R1 it is alpha 1, R2 it is alpha 2. Substitute R1 value in that. What is R1 value? R1 is nothing but R minus 12, which is equal to u squared. U they have told it is constant in all the cases. So u squared sine 2 alpha 1 by g. Okay. What is alpha 1? Alpha 1 is given as 15 degrees. Substitute here, you will get 2 into 15 is 30. So further simplifying, you will get the equation 2. This is the first equation, this is the second equation. Similarly, go for R2 case. R2 is u squared sine 2 alpha 2 divided by g. Alpha 2 is 45 degrees, so you will get sine 90. So the left hand side is, you have already written R2 is equal to r plus 24. So substituting in this equation, you will get the equation 3. Dividing the equation 2 by 3, this is the equation 2, dividing the equation 2 by equation 3, you further simplify it like this, or r is equal to 48, you will get, reducing this equation, r you got it as 48. Substituting this in equation 3, r value in equation 3, you can find out u. Anyhow, it's common for both the cases. So you got the velocity as well. Now using this r and using this u in our equation 1, you find out what is the angle alpha. Okay. So we got the angle alpha. So we have found out what is asked in the problem. They have asked you to find the angle of projection to hit the mark. They have not asked you alpha 1 and alpha 2. They have asked exactly the alpha. That is why we resubstituted the values r and u here and found out what is alpha. Okay. Next problem. A bullet is fired upwards at an angle of 30 degree to the horizontal from the point P on a hill. So there is a hill, a bullet is fired somewhere from here at an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal from the point P, and it strikes a target which is 80 meter lower than B. Okay, from B, the figure is given. From here 80 meter below, the target is hit from this point to this point. The initial velocity of the bullet is 100 meter per second. They have given you the u, initial velocity. So this is u, this is alpha. Now calculate the maximum height with which the bullet will rise above the horizontal. So if this is my horizontal, when the bullet is fired from here, it starts from here and reaches some maximum point and then goes and hits the target. I am supposed to find out what is that maximum height which the bullet has reached. I have a direct formula for which, for H max, that is u squared sin squared alpha divided by 2g. Alpha is given, u is given. Just substitute in this formula, you will get the H max distance. That is the distance 127.42 meter. This is the first thing asked. Second thing asked in the problem is actual velocity with which it strikes the target. It's the actual velocity with which it is hitting the target. Okay, so when your bullet is hit from here, it reaches here. Do you remember what I said, what happens to the velocity when it reaches the maximum point? It becomes 0. The velocity becomes 0. So from here to here I have to consider the case now. That is, find the actual velocity with which it hits the target. So my problem is now the actual velocity with which the bullet strikes the target. In the figure, point A is the highest point of the projectile. At the highest point, the vertical component of the velocity is 0. So let this, you consider it as V1, that is the initial velocity, and from here the vertical component which is hitting the target, you take it as V2, that is the final velocity, vertical component of velocity. Okay, now what is the distance from this point up to target? This is, I have found out the H max, that is 127. Okay, 127.42, and this whole thing is 80. So now from the equation of motion, that is third equation of motion, v squared minus u squared is equal to 2as, where a is g in this case, and v2 squared is the final velocity which I am supposed to find out. v1 is the initial velocity which is 0. Okay, from here this point is equal to 2gs. Okay, because it is moving downwards, it is positive g here, 9.81 into ss is this total distance from this point to target point. Find out what is v2. So you have found out vertical velocity component while striking the target, that is 63.79 meter per second. Now if I want to find out the actual velocity with which the bullet strikes, I need both the horizontal component of velocity as well as the vertical component of velocity. But I have told you already in the beginning slides that the horizontal component remains constant for the entire flight. So that is nothing but u cos alpha. U cos alpha, where u is the initial velocity 100, cos alpha is cos 30. So this becomes 86.6 meter per second. Now how we have calculated resultant of two velocities in previous problems. You can just find the square root of these two, u1 squared plus v2 squared. You will get 107.55 meter per second, which is the actual velocity with which the bullet strikes the target. So we have found out all the three things which is asked in the problem. So there are few more problems on the projectiles, but for this video I'll stop it for now. With some more problems we'll meet in the next video. Thank you.